thank you. And, you know, I'm sorry for your loss. I send my love to you. I lost my father last week, so I understand, and I'm sending all my love to you.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Today, I am beginning with opening the show with some songs that I created. The first one is called 3 Months Ago. This is about me expressing myself about how I felt during lockdown. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago, when I was running round and round in circles.
Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago, when I was living how I wanted on my own, and I thought,
yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago, before the world reset and paused for a moment. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago, when we lived freely, oh so free, so
I've been drunk 3 times this week. Spent all my money on a fleeting moment. I've been drunk 3 times this week. Spent all my money on
I
a
love
fleeting
you, I love
moment.
you, I love you.
I've been drunk 3 times this
I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, I meant it. I really, really meant it. Yeah, I meant it. I really, really meant it. Yeah, I meant it. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago. I was flying while you were sinking. Oh, I felt lost 3 times this week. I've been searching for a new direction. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago. Time for a little course correction. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago. I can shake this off. Now I can make this stop. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago. Just watch this space, don't blink and miss it. Oh, I felt lost 3 times this week. I've been searching for a new direction. Oh, I felt lost 3 times this week. Yeah, I felt lost 3 times this week. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago. Yeah, things were sweet 3 months ago. That was 3 months ago. From there, I dropped down. I then created a song called Purple Dragon. This song came to me during a meditation I did in about the third eye. So please now,
enjoy Purple Dragon. Won't you join me on a Purple Dragon ride? Join me on my Purple Dragon ride. Do you feel your soul calling? Can you feel the space all around? Breathe in deep and out slowly. Alchemize it to body. Leave your senses free floating. The quantum field is where you are bound. The multiverse is where you'll be found. Do you hear your soul calling? Can you hear the frequency of love? Breathing deep and out slowly, alchemize it to brightly. Leave your senses free falling. The quantum field is where you are bound. It's calling me, 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 it's calling me. Do you see your soul calling? Can you see that you're abundant? Do you know your soul calling? Can you know you're everything I want? The more I feel you, the more I see you, the more I hate you, the more I love you, the more I feel you, the more I hate you, the more I see you, the more I love you. Join me on my Purple Dragon. Join me on my Purple Dragon ride. Purple Dragon ride. And from there, on the Purple Dragon ride, I'm going to take you on one more little journey to my dream world. This song was created from something I do called quantum flow. There's a kind of breathing that we do that calms us down called fire breathing. And that is where I've created this song Dream World from. So let me put that on for you next. Please join me in my dream world, Beebee Feenix. That
my dream world. Don't wanna leave my dream world. I'm breathing in my dream world. I love you so. I want you to know that I'm living in my dream world. Don't wanna leave my dream world. I'm breathing in my dream love you so. I want you to know that I'm living in my dream world. Don't wanna leave my dream world. I'm breathing in my dream world. I love you so. I want you to know that I'm living in my dream world. Don't wanna leave my dream world. I'm breathing in my dream world. I love you so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my little ride through lockdown musically.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Beebee. Absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Beautiful start to our day. Okay.
Right. Now I may as well go into my discussion, which really does follow on from what you were saying. What I want to talk about today is communication. There is a lack of communication in the world at the moment, and I want to bring light to communication in the different ways in which we do it and which we can do it. So you join me as a 5-year-old in a ballet show, hiding backstage, hiding underneath some chairs, playing a game, hide and seek, which is a childhood game we all know and love. It's a game I'm playing. Everyone else is already in their tutus and I'm a clown. And while the parents are getting everyone else ready, we're all hiding away for so long that I think I'm doing so well. And what I start doing is starting to think, I'm winning. I'm going to win this. So I go out and I look around, no one there. And I go through to the changing room and there's no one there. And then I start panicking. Then I hear the door go. And then out of behind the door comes my mum. And I was so grateful to see my mum. I was like, Mummy, where have you been? I've been so scared. She's like, come on, you've missed your turn on stage. I'm like, what, Mummy? I missed my turn on stage. Having the only person been with a solo performance, I actually missed my solo performance through playing a game of hide and seek. Now, this was a game that you think is about trying to hide and communication, but actually through lack of communication, through lack of people letting me know that it was nearly my time to be on stage, even though I was hiding, I actually missed my first debut position on stage as a 5-year-old. Now, what I have learned since, that this is actually what has gave me stage fright for most of my life. Through having fun, that transferred into having fear, which I then associated with being on stage. So from when I was 5 years old, playing a game of hide and seek, through lack of communication, I actually missed my go, came out of the stage at the end with all of the ballerinas, and we took our bow. I went backstage and I cried into my mum's arms. And, you know, from that point on, we had such a close relationship. It gave me stage fright in a way that I never knew I would understand. But as I went through my journey, I learned that that was a way, stage fright for me became a way of lack of communication. So as I journeyed through my school years of bullying and then into my teenage years, being overweight and being bullied even more, I then internalized a lot of things. It wasn't until I got to the age of 21, I ended up in my first long-time relationship. And this ended up being a relationship of domestic violence. Through fear of speaking up for myself, I had learned a trait of internalizing. I kept everything inside of me. I ended up with something called TMJ and PTSD. I had a constant spasming of my jaw for 10 months, as well as having PTSD, which I ended up having treatment for. To remove the physical symptoms, I was internalizing through lack of communication. So through this time of 15 years of being in a relationship of domestic violence, I learned that communication was something that I had to keep with myself for fear of speaking up, for fear of reprisal, and for fear of manipulation. For I felt that if I spoke up sometimes, I was told I was wrong for even peeling a potato in the wrong way. So I learned a new trait over the years of internalizing my struggles and internalizing my battles and my voice. This gave me no confidence in myself, and it showed me how to keep my voice within. It's taken me a long time to learn, to understand and undo a lot of that work. For myself, I've had to learn to find my voice, to open up my channels of communication. Through fear of speaking up, through fear of judgment, I held in a lot of the things that I wanted to say over the years, and I kept myself in a mental prison and a mental torture for which I wasn't ready to deal with and come out of. By wanting to have a better life for myself, I started to come out of that shell, and I started to find my voice through the form of singing, which is a way of expressing myself. So for me, I like to communicate with my voice through speaking, through singing, and through healing. But communication is something that we need to keep open, because in relationships like domestic violence, there's a lack of communication. We can break down a lot of barriers with communication. If we can just keep those communication lines open a little bit more, then it opens the pathway for others to speak up about what it is that they are going through. I want to be able to lead the way for others, to be able to find their voice, to speak up for what matters to them, to speak up for what matters to them in their heart and in their tummies, get those fires burning and find your passions again and be able to communicate in the way that we all wish to. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have also lost my dad recently. Just over a week ago, my dad passed away. Now, to me, communication to him had been an incredible thing, especially towards the end of his life. For the last 2 months, he was in hospital. He went in with a broken hip and they had that replaced, which was fine. There was no problem at all. We were speaking to him on the phone. To begin with, I was visiting him in the hospital, but due to COVID, the hospital had to close its doors to visitors, to nothing emergency or non-appointments. So I had to communicate with my dad over the phone. I'm grateful for technology, for the fact that I can communicate to you, but also the fact that I could communicate to my dad at a time when he needed people around him, but couldn't have them. Now, unfortunately, whilst in the hospital, my dad himself picked up COVID, and then he also picked up pneumonia. He was still okay whilst in the hospital. And then just over a week ago, we had the phone call communicating the news that my dad had terminal lung and bone cancer. A couple of days after this, which happened to be my birthday, the 27th of November, we managed to get him home. We got him home that night, and the next morning I went to go and see him to communicate and to connect with him once more. And it is something I hadn't done for the last 6-7 weeks. To be able to communicate with my dad was an important thing. Now, unfortunately, by the time I got to see him on the Saturday, he was non-verbal. He was not able to physically communicate, but energetically and with his hand, he was able to still squeeze my hand and just about open his eyes. So even towards the end of your life, there is still a way of communicating. Communication barriers need to be dropped and let go of. There is always a way to communicate how you're feeling. Now, for me, it was incredibly important because it was such a short time. It's been such a shock. We didn't even expect this to come. And I was able to communicate with him, and he was able to communicate back by squeezing my hand. In the last moments of his life, I was able to give him joy. I was able to give him compassion, communication, and love. I was able to communicate with him and remind him of all the fun times we had. And by doing that, I saw a flicker of life back in his eyes. I was able to communicate how much I loved him and how much I was proud of him, and I knew that he would be proud of me. I was also able to connect with him in terms of asking him questions, and he was able to answer me energetically with his hand. The next day on the Sunday, I went back to go and see my dad to spend some more time with him. He had become more locked into himself and even less able to communicate. So at this point, I decided I needed to connect with him energetically. So I spoke to him energetically from my heart, from my soul, and I gave him the permission that he needed to move on, to continue his journey like I needed to continue on with my journey. Communication is such an important tool for us all, and I'm proud that I was able to give him that moment of communication right up to the last part of his life. Communication is key. If I was to summarize, you need to be yourself, be authentic. Please speak up for what matters to you. I have got this stage here because I want to speak up for what matters to me. Losing someone through grief, domestic violence, expressing yourself, communication. I want to help you and others find your voice, reach out and be able to communicate all those things that you wish you could say that you never felt you were able to say. I want you to speak from the heart. I want you to be open and honest and authentic and communicate. If you were to communicate with me how you were to feel today, I would like you to hope that you did it with a smile in your heart, because we need to do everything with gratitude. If we communicate and be with each other with gratitude, then we will feel the need to be together, especially at a time like this, when everyone has a lack of communication, everyone has fear of going outside and being physically together. So it is more important now than ever that we communicate to each other online, on phone, or if you can't speak to someone again, energetically. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for the time that you have all given me, able to communicate myself and express myself. And I hope that you have enjoyed everything that I have sung to you and brought to you today. And the way I have decided to communicate with you today is from the heart and with love. Thank you.